Do you provide advice or other professional services and wonder if you need special coverage, often called E&O or errors and omissions insurance? Not sure what's covered in an E&O policy? I'm going to go over what E&O insurance is all about in this video. E&O insurance. Anytime something is boiled down to just a couple of letters like E and O, there's bound to be some confusion, and I hope to break it down and explain it here. But if I miss something or I haven't answered your question entirely, then please do contact me so we can get more granular around your particular questions or issues. So, E&O stands for Errors and Omissions Insurance. It's a special form of business insurance sold to firms that provide some form of professional services. In fact, E&O is also known as Professional Liability insurance. What this form of insurance does is protect you from claims or lawsuits that arise alleging some mistake, error or omission, negligence, missed deadline, or failure to provide a service that results in a claimant suffering a financial harm. Who needs E&O insurance? Well, just about any business that offers a form of professional service needs E&O coverage. This can include consultants, bookkeepers, accountants, designers, digital marketing consultants, web designers, real estate agents, advertising agencies, investment advisors, interior designers and decorators, IT and tech services, hairdressers and beauticians, architects and engineers, and the list can go on and on and on. Basically, any person or firm that has a unique skill or offering that is sold to others for a fee may have an E&O insurance exposure. A big question is, why would a professional need a separate E&O policy? And the answer is that your standard business policy or general liability policy does not include coverage for claims which allege professional mistakes, errors, and omissions. The business owner's policy or your general liability policy you currently purchase contains an exclusion for professional or E&O liability. And vice versa, the E&O policy excludes claims for bodily injury and property damage, which are the perils insured on a general liability policy. So the unique risks your professional services present need specialized or unique coverage, which is going to be found only in the E&O policy. What does E&O actually cover? E&O insurance is going to cover claims which arise from professional services, and that includes a couple of big items. The first is defense costs, the expense of hiring and retaining an attorney to defend you in court. This alone can be extremely expensive and run anywhere from $10,000 to $200,000 or more based on my claim experiences. In addition to paying all the legal fees and defense costs, also include court costs and administrative costs. Next is settlements and judgments. Whether a claim is settled out of court or after a proceeding, you may be found liable, and you have to pay for potential wrongdoing. And this is where E&O insurance becomes extremely valuable, because settlements can range from several $1,000s up into the millions. That's why buying sufficient coverage is necessary. A big question, what does E&O insurance cost? That's going to depend on several factors. The type of business you're in, your geography, the size of your business, how much coverage you're purchasing, your company's specific claim history, and what you do to control this risk. It's really difficult to answer that question because there are so many factors that influence the premium, as I just mentioned. But roughly speaking, for low hazard type professional, the premium is going to average about $750 per employee for $1 million limit per year. It could be higher, it could be lower. And the best way to find out on the cost is not to look for numbers on the internet, but to work with a broker that specializes in E&O insurance. Now, this may involve completing a short application, and I know you hate paperwork, and I do too, but often it's necessary. And from there, the broker can send it to several underwriters for multiple quotations for them to compare for you. What influences the cost of E&O insurance? As I mentioned earlier, costs are based on several factors. Looking at occupation or the industry as an example, a hairdresser is going to pay way less for E&O insurance than, say, an architect. It only stands to reason that an error from an architect is going to be much more costly than an error made by a hairdresser. So the rates for architects will be higher to cover that difference. Another big factor in the premium you pay will be your claims history and your risk control procedures. Firms that have had multiple claims will of course pay more than firms with no claim. And on the risk control side of things, if you can demonstrate that you and your team not only have had the right professional training or education, and you maintain that training and do updates and continually reinforce good policies and procedures, you'll improve your premiums over a firm that doesn't really care about ongoing education. Other things like deploying a standard contract on every engagement where it's applicable is also important. This is where working with an expert broker is going to really help you out. I hope that answers your questions on what E&O insurance covers, but like I said, if it didn't, don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. I love working with business owners across the country, and E&O insurance is one of my specialties. Don't be afraid to connect. I promise I'm not going to be that pushy insurance sales guy. No gimmicks, just some conversation to see if I can help you. I'm Gordon Coyle, and I hope that you got value out of this video. If you did, I'd really like it if you could hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot.